Hey guys, welcome to my shop. This video is a little bit different. Last week I posted a video on the PASIC convention and our PASIC booth and showed you guys what we had going on. This week I'm back in North Carolina, back in my shop, preparing for the end of the year craziness. We always post a bunch of sales, which those sales are, depending on what time you're listening or watching this, those sales are happening now on our website, reveriedrums.com. And I've been in the midst of filming a bunch of cymbal demos, filming a bunch of drum demos. And with this video, I kind of felt like it'd be interesting just to talk a little bit about more of a generic sound quality type video where we talk about maybe some relationships between drums and cymbals, relationships between cymbal sets. And I could give you maybe a little bit of a insight into how I approach dealing with sound and dealing with the kind of inspiration that I have for a particular moment, because my ear is constantly changing. I'm constantly shifting how I see the ideal cymbal setup, the ideal drum setup. And so I know that's a little bit vague, but let's just dive in right now and we'll talk about the instruments that I have in front of me. You just heard me play a little bit of a ditty on this kit here. And you can't really see with the camera angle, but down below I have a 15 by 11 kick drum. And I have really been taking a lot of time to dial in my kick drum sounds lately. I love the kind of open, resonant, musical sounding kick drums. I've never really been a fan of the super thuddy, low-tuned rock kick drum sound. And thankfully, as I had my playing career and I got to play in a bunch of different environments, mostly loud environments where I was required to play really softly, it taught me to play a certain way with my technique that is very conducive to an open, resonant sounding bass drum. So 15 by 11 ribbon mahogany kick drum, 2 single ply coated heads, front and back. The batter side has a little moleskin, like athletic tape almost, as a little beater pad. And they're tuned in a way where the batter side is a little bit lower, the resonant side is a little bit higher, so you get the tone and the fullness and the resonance from that resonant side. And then with the batter side, I typically just tune it to feel. And this kit is cool because I got this, it's a little bit open and growly sounding. And then I pair it with this, this 15-inch ribbon mahogany snare drum. So 15-inch kick, 15-inch snare drum. It's 15 by 5. And what's cool about this drum is this drum kind of captures a sort of vibe that I'm very interested in, which is imperfect. This is a sloshy drum. It's got dry like areas where the tone is very dry, but then you can go out to the edge and it's really open. These are cheaper snare wires, so the outer sides are really loose. And so there's always this tail of sound. No matter how much I crank the snare wires, there's always a tail of sound coming off the end, regardless of the tuning and whatnot. And I love that. It's like a weird extra sound that kind of creates like a sizzle or a bed underneath whatever you're playing. Kind of, I guess, maybe akin to like having rivets in a cymbal. And little things like that, little kind of imperfect things with a drum or a cymbal, to me is what kind of creates this overall vibe or sense of intrigue with the instrument. And so if something is perfect, perfect sounding ride, perfect sounding drums, I find them to be a little bit uninspiring. So I picked a set of cymbals and this kit. They're all kind of slightly weird. They have little odd things about them that sort of draw me in to play more and to express myself a little bit more. And so I'm always trying to capture that with whatever instrument that I make and whatever instruments that we make here at Reverie, because I've got some other guys that help me. And so yeah, so we've got this 15-inch kick, 15-inch snare. I've got a set of hi-hats where I teased this in last week's video, the PASIC video, about a set of hi-hats with a heavier top hat, lighter bottom. They're very close to being match weighted, but there's anywhere from like 30 to 75 grams heavier on top. There's something about this setup that I have completely fallen in love with, and I really feel like hi-hats is something that for years I was just kind of, I wasn't really dialed in on what I liked. I kind of just went with the standard setups you see from every company. You know, you got this thin top hat, heavy bottom, you know, and then different like weight ratios for different genres. And I was always, you know, like, yeah, I always felt like I could make a good set of hats. But now I feel like, okay, I'm on the verge and I'm entering into territory where I'm going to be making the best sounding hi-hats that I've ever made, and the best sounding hi-hats maybe that I've ever heard, because I not to toot my own horn here, but I had some help. I'll just say that. I had some help kind of with some guidance and direction just in terms of the specs and the setup. And so these hats are 15s. The top hi-hat's 1,198 grams. The bottom hi-hat is 1,171 grams, so about 25, 30 grams difference. Obviously, you could swap them, you know, put the lighter one on top. And that's the beauty about this setup, is it's kind of going towards match-weighted hats. You're going close enough to where you can put the lighter one on top if you want, but then you can also swap them and get different sounds. There's something about the top hat being heavier that when you're playing a foot check, there's something about it that feels like it has more body and more presence. And when the lighter hat is on top, it feels a little bit more airy and more wispy. And so the idea of kind of like the ultimate hi-hat would be this hi-hat that you could put the lighter one on top for the jazz, wispy stuff, but then if you need to go into the funk or even rock and roll or whatever other genre that's a little bit heavier, you put that heavier one on top and it gives you the body and presence. So that's a little bit on the hi-hats here. And then the cymbals, I've got a commission on one side and then a defect on the other. The commission here is something I've been messing around with tension, looseness, stiffness, whatever you want to call it. And going with a cymbal that's got a lot of wave and flex, but isn't sluggish feeling. So it's got just the right amount of movement where it needs to have it, but where you play, it's not too loose, so that there's plenty of stick. It's a Tributary series cymbal, 22-inch, and it is 2,315 grams. So that's about as thin as I like to make 22s, and it's got a super heavy patina on it. So you just get this really nice, dry, articulate stick, but it's nice and loose with the tension, so you can kind of crash and get it to sort of open up quick. That crash also just kind of hits and gets out of the way fast. I love it. On the left side, I have a cymbal that it was a blank that sat around for too long, and then I went to hand form the bell and shape the body, and it had a nice little tiny split in the bell, and so I just drilled the crack out. It's basically a fully functional cymbal. It just has a hole in the bell, but it has a fully hand-formed bell, and it's, again, one of my Tributary series cymbals. It's 22-inch, again, weighs 2,284 grams, so really thin. Much thinner than I have liked lately, but I'm kind of coming back to this cymbal because it's nice. It's been made for probably 8 months now, and it's got heavy topography and a little bit of a taller shape, so you know the weight would scream, oh, it's too thin to have presence, but the topography, the shape, the fact that it's got the hand-formed bell is going to be, and the patina as well, is going to give it something that it does have good stick definition. It doesn't wash out too fast. So I'll pull the camera around, show the behind the kit view so you can get a sense for how it sounds to my ears, and we'll go from there. I wanted to hop on this video, talk for a brief minute. I've been super busy actually just making stuff, so I haven't had too much time to be planning and executing YouTube videos that are interesting, which I plan to get back on that in the new year, probably before the new year, but for now it's just kind of the crazy time of year. We're making tons of cymbals, tons of stack ring. We are yeah, just getting ready for the mad rush for the end of the year. So if you're interested in seeing what we have to offer, I put up like 20 cymbals on the website yesterday, and they're all available. I've got a big batch of Reverie cymbals and then plenty of TR cymbals. I've got a bunch of hi-hats and a bunch of hi-hats that are in that same zone where they're close in weight, so you can put whichever one on the top and you can get this kind of vibe that I've been talking about. This one's a little bit heavier, so this cymbal is, this set of hats has a heavier weight than most of the ones I posted. Most of the ones I posted are a bit thinner, but plenty of hi-hats, plenty of TR cymbals, and then the Reverie prototypes, which we're still kind of dialing in that system, and we plan to really hit the ground running in 2025 with really locked in series, what the Reverie cymbal brand is all about, the different offerings that we have, and we're gonna go to town with that. TR Cymbals is still gonna be the thing where we have all the 5 series that I've developed, and also I'll go ahead and say this now. I launched a new series that I'm calling the Acacia series. It's the series for unlathed crust cymbals. I had something like that I called the Duco, then it changed to the Foundation, and then I basically moved the Foundation series over to the Reverie brand. And so the Timothy Roberts brand has not had a cymbal line that utilizes unlathed crust. And so I'm doing a slow launch, and I've got 1 cymbal left on the site that is one of these Acacia rides. It's a pretty interesting one. It's got a very cool unlathed crust, like cool colors going on. And I've said this in other videos, but I typically don't like unlathed crusts on cymbals. I find them to be a little bit boring, like Turk style cymbals. I find them to be somewhat boring. They're great for certain things, but as far as having nice breath and air to them, I find that to be kind of rare in a Turk style. So naturally, I'm like, okay, well, I should make them and figure out how to make them so that they do have all of the qualities that I look for in a good cymbal. So that's going to be under the Acacia line. You'll see that there. And then we're just doing our sales. We got 20% off all stack ring percussion. I think I'm doing like 15% off all of the Reverie prototypes as well. So you can go on the website and find all of the information for the discount codes that you can add. I also posted a few B-stock products to the website from the PASIC show, so you can get on there and get like 30% off on certain stack ring items. And then lastly, I said at the beginning of the video I've been filming some drum demos, and so I filmed the demo with this 15x11 kick and this 15x5 snare. These drums are available on the website, and then the kit you can kind of see in the corner here, this cherry kit. It's a demo B-stock kind of thing. I took off like $800, $900 off of what this retails for. This is a kit that has been at trade shows. It's got little nicks and scratches on the hoops, but the shells are in great shape. The lugs are in great shape. It sounds great. I just can't sell it as a new kit. So that kit's available. This kick, this snare, and then there's like 3 other snare drums I added, plus some of the Landmark series drums. They're all available, and they also include the discount. So you can go in there and find information about that. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and if you're in the States, next week is Thanksgiving, so I hope you have a wonderful time with family. And we'll be at it again with more nerdy cymbal and drum content. And also, I will get around to doing a shop tour. We've been in a new shop for months now, and we're finally getting it dialed in. I just this morning tightened down the bolts on my power hammer, so it is ready to go. And I will be, making some noise in here very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this video. Hit the like and the subscribe and the bell if you want notifications. And keep an eye out for the next video. I'm Timothy Roberts. Thanks for watching.